Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm making a salad. I'm going to make a Bibb lettuce with chicken salad with a peanut dressing. Now, I'm going to explain how you poach a chicken, how I poach a chicken, alright? I put a carrot, a celery rib, a piece of parsley, some salt and black peppercorns into the water, and I put my chicken breast in it, boneless and skinless. I bring the water temperature up just when it starts to simmer. I turn it off and put the lid on it, and I let it sit for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then I take the chicken out and cool it and slice it. It should be done. Now, if you're unsure if the chicken's going to be done, do test it with a thermometer and test it. It should be at 160, which is exactly where you want it. And then that way, your poached chicken, because most people poach the breast, it won't be so dry. All right? Now they want 2 heads of Boston or Bibb lettuce. Now, I bought 3 Bibb lettuce. They didn't have any Boston. And one recipe said use 1, but it wasn't enough to do for what they wanted me to do with it, so I had to use an extra one. So I've only had 1 Bibb left. So I took a green leafy lettuce to compensate for what I'm going to be missing. So I have 1 Bibb and 4 leaves of green leafy. Green leafy is almost like red tip lettuce, except that it doesn't turn purple and red on the tips. You're going to tear it up and put it into a bowl. Now I was using leftover chicken that I have in the the freezer. I had 1 chicken breast, so I did the chicken breast and poached it, and then I have chicken left over from some a chicken dish that wanted me to use one part and do the other, so I cooked that down, tore the meat off and stuck it in the freezer. It's in the refrigerator now, and I'm going to use that for the other dishes. So it's a little confusing, but they want chicken breast and they want 2 Bibb lettuce, but like I said, sometimes I have to compensate for what's there, and that's what I do. And I'm always trying to make dishes more nutritious, and I didn't want flat chicken, so I poached it my way. Has a nice flavor to it. Don't add too much salt to it because it really will do it. But if you boil chicken and you notice how dry it is, it's because you've overcooked it. That's why they say poach it gently. So just when my water started to boil, I turned it off, put the lid on, and let it sit. Now the vegetables are sitting in there. I'll strain it, and that will be a chicken stock I can use. That's why I'm careful not to add too much salt to it, because like I said, I'm going to be adding salt, so I don't need to add more. I'm just tearing everything up right now, you must know. It's going in here. Now how do I dry my leaves from being super wet? I put a towel, then I put another towel on top of them and pat them dry. And then that way, I'm guaranteed, yes, there'll be water, but they won't be so wet, because most people will just go, I should know, I do it when I'm in a hurry. Like I tell you, I know the rules, but sometimes when I'm really in a hurry, I'll take some shortcuts, and sure enough, it shows up, unless you're going to eat the salad right away. And because the salad is also packed, I have to be careful. And don't tear your leaves too small. You know, so I'm eating them in pretty good sized pieces. I tell you, I can't get the weather right to go with what I want to do. Just when I think it's going to be hot, I make a salad. It's rainy and cool. Then I go to make another meal, and it's going to be hot, and I don't want to be in the kitchen cooking. I cannot make up my mind. So I've shaken off, and I've drained these, but they're still quite wet. So I'm going to pat them dry. But like I said, these are little steps that people do, chefs do, to make sure that the food is that exceptional dish that you're looking for. And don't talk and tell me I'm too tired to cook or something. Believe you me, some days I am worn out. I don't even want to come in this kitchen. Like yesterday, I had planned to make cranberry, nutmeg, banana, because I have a banana that's overripe. It's in the refrigerator. Muffins. I said something to snack on. And I'm using different sugars in it and stuff, and I think it'll be good. But guess what? I've got to make baking powder. I need cream of tartar, so I can't make it till Saturday. I'm just patting it dry as much as I can. There's a lot less water on it. I'm just still tearing it up. And this should be more than enough for us. So, just keep on going. I know you hear me constantly talk about health and the stuff they're putting in our food. And now other people are coming up and saying the same thing. You know what they do to our flours? And you wonder why we have problems? Yeah, I know. That's why I make sourdough and I use whole grains and mix them up and everything. Let me go put this towel in. I'll be right back. Most diseases and problems that we have, medical issues, not being able to fight colds, having to get antibiotics and all of this, is because they have taken the nutrients out of the food. They've engineered them differently, our fruits and vegetables. And we finish cooking it out. The more refined the food, the more processed, unless you process it. A woman who processes her food, believe you me, she is not going to go through what people do, the businesses do, because they have to take everything out. If they leave the nutrients in, the food goes bad quickly. If you don't believe me, sit there and buy a can of beans and buy fresh beans and cook them and put them both in the refrigerator. Tell me which one's going to last the longest. Or if you want to leave the canned beans out and put the cooked beans into the refrigerator, tell me which one's going to last the longest. Food is overprocessed. Any woman, I gotta find it tomorrow. And I mean any woman who is canning her own food has a limit of how long she will keep that canned food in the house. She knows exactly how long it will last. Like everything else, you open a can of tomato paste, and you could say within a week you have to throw it out, unless you plan to use it all. Why? Because if you take a look at the expiration date and the date they make it, it's much older than you realize it is. No, it is, because that's what companies do. They have warehouses loaded with processed food canned. Now, they take all the nutrients out and they put artificial flavorings in it. So you're getting bulk. Now, your body cannot really defend itself unless it gets folic acid, because that's your antibiotic. That is a natural antibiotic. And you don't get arthritis if they have the minerals in the food. They've only put a few. And if you put anything in partial and don't take it the full with everything in it, you find out you're going to end up, you say, but I took this. Yes, but you were missing these, so therefore you cause an imbalance, which is going to cause your sickness. If you're aging and you have spots on your face and you look old and everything else, this all comes from the processed food that they've taken out. And like I said, it takes the body 7 years to replace every cell in your body, and they do this every day. And if you don't eat well for one day, the cells that come that are replaced, I mean, when the new cells come in, if you're missing something, those cells are going to be missing something. And so this is just a cycle and a cycle and a cycle and a cycle. It keeps on going. And then when you start to get sick, they give you medicine. So whatever few nutrients you get, there you go again. If you ever watch somebody, like I watched my husband slowly deteriorate in front of my eyes, which I was very upset with. He should never have taken that little red pill. I told him not to. Well, he didn't listen. I watched his body. No matter how much nutrition I put in that food, every time we went to the doctor was giving him another medication and another medication. My husband, like I said, had a box full of medication. And they said this and this. And if you ever get your hands on a PDR, read the counter on what the medications cause, and you will be shocked. And you'll say, but my husband, that's when I did. I said, wait a minute. My husband had this problem. And then it's side effects of the medication. And then they took this medication, and then that caused a side effect of this and this. And I was cross-referencing it. I was not happy with what I saw. As far as I was concerned, it was murder. Now, do you need doctors? Absolutely. I'm not going to say you don't need a doctor. You break a bone or something, you're going to need a hospital, and you're going to need doctors. But the thing is I'm just informing, not telling you, I should say, I am informing you. Be aware. The more processed the food is, the less nutrients in it. You'll die an early death. No, you might not die an early death. You might live to a nice old age, but you'll start aging early. You'll look old and haggard, and then you start putting makeup on. I love the way YouTube has all these videos. Oh, I put this on. Look, it gets rid of all my dark circles from under here. She doesn't want to take care of the dark circles. She only wants to cover them up. Hello? You know? It's beyond my comprehension. It's like they insist, well, I am going to do what I want. Doctor, you make my body work so I can do what I want. The doctor can't do zip for you. The only person who can do anything for you is you and what you put in that mouth. And if your digestion is down or not healthy because the preservatives they put into the food to keep the food longer before it goes bad interferes with your stomach acids and the digestion. And these chemicals, if they linger onto the wall, you've got a real problem there, because that section of intestines is not going to absorb the nutrients it needs there. So then you end up with a chain reaction that the body can't get these nutrients because of the chemicals that are there. Now, if you're constipated a long time and you don't move your bowels, the bowels will pack up onto the walls. And if they do that, no food I don't care how much food you put in there, you're not going to get it out. So it's very important you move your bowels. And the ARE reading stated point blank, you should be in the bathroom only 1 minute. Anything longer than a minute and you're constipated. So if you can't get your business done in 1 minute, you got a real issue. Now, a lot of the food that we're taking is depleted or minimal, I should say minuscule, of minerals. The minerals that you need to move your bowels, to keep you warm, are the electrolytes. Doctors, but they sit there and they say, they take bloods from all these people and they tell people you're normal. Well, if they're not really healthy, how in the heck do you know what is normal? What you consider normal today might not have been normal before. It might have been better. So it's very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very, very hard. It's extremely hard. Every day I fight to hold my health together. And my sons, when they eat my food, I keep them going as well. Because I skip a day and I know it's going to be a day something might happen. Now, I know one loves his martinis, the other one loves his whiskey. I understand that. But I also get in as much food as I can. But I tell them, you know what liquor does. I've explained it to them. I said, you know what smoking does. I have one that loves to smoke a pipe, one loves to smoke a cigarette, but they do it like once in a blue moon. So they're careful with their drinking and stuff, and they pull back on it because they know what can cause it. I'm not saying they can't have, I'm just saying in moderations. You see, so it's a balancing act. I'm sorry, I'd love to sit there and say, oh, take this and this will work for you. Oh, take this and this will work for you. The things they tell you naturally, if you catch something in the butt and the organ is still working fine, something natural is going to work. But if you have depleted the body and you have sat there and you've got backed up bowels, poor indigestion, and you finally get sick, you can't turn to anybody but yourself. You have to look at them, and you look at the doctor, save me, help me, take the pain away. It's only a cover-up, because the medicine he gives you is for the blood work only, but you don't know what's going on at the cell levels. What is missing in the cell? What's going on with those cells that cause the problem that you have? Science has not advanced far enough for all of that to go through, though they say, well, we know this or we know that. But like they say, there's diabetics, there's something that grows onto the pancreas, and that's why the pancreas slowly dies or shuts down. They can't tell you if it's alive or not, or just this is coding it. But they can't tell you what triggers that. Why is that running onto the pancreas, which causes diabetes? Well, we could look at it and say, well, what nutrient's missing? We know folic acid is missing, and that's an antibiotic naturally that the body uses to defend itself. We know other things, you see, so there's things that are missing that we don't know, and the more they refine the food, the more the diseases and the more problems and more medical we have. So if you think you're healthy in this life, hang it up. You ain't. You ain't, and I'm going to use the word ain't. You ain't. No way in heaven or hell are you healthy. You're as healthy as you can be, but as you get older, women who start developing old age, they find their breasts down to here, they find a lot of problems, and by the time they're 50, they just don't want to get up and work anymore, and they can't pick things up. They're going into nursing homes. That is not a healthy person, okay? You can only tell if you see somebody really old and still getting around on their own and not looking like they belong in the crypt. You could say, well, that's one healthy person. When you're young, yeah, but as you eat poorly, you will notice you age faster and faster and faster. Can you stop this order? You can slow it down. You can reverse some of it. The younger you are, the faster it works for you. And I notice a lot of women say, well, I'm tired. I come in from work. I do this, I do that. You can make 100 excuses. Believe you me, I am tired when I get up in the morning. But I know in order to protect my health, I have to get into this kitchen. Point blank. If I like it or not, and then believe you me, when it's 100 and something, I'm saying, God, I collect leftovers and I can heat those up in the microwave and get away with not having to cook. But the thing is that be aware of all of this that I'm talking about, that you are the problem if your health is not up there. It's your responsibility for your health. And if you insist upon instant food, oh, I'm going to buy these muffins or these cupcakes. Oh, I'm going to buy this bread. It's too much trouble to make bread. Understand, point blank, theirs is to make money, to make it as cheap as possible. And the government has given them the right to pull all the nutrients out and only put 2 or 3 back, which is going to cause all the other ones to be imbalanced. Always remember that. Now let me get the other stuff and we'll get this going. Okay, we're going to need an English cucumber. Now, it's not like an American cucumber. It's a drier cucumber. It doesn't have as much liquid in it, so when you put it into the salad won't be soggy. And they're like this, and then wrapped them. We used to call it saran wrap. We call it plastic wrap. And we're going to use this whole cucumber. Computer. Please, Sandra. Watch it. Now they want us to cut this in matchstick. Now they're specific about matchstick cuts. First off, they want them 2 inches long. Okay, so you want 2 inches. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I'll do all of these things to make it a little easier on myself. Like I told you, I always keep a ruler in the house, especially in the kitchen. I took this, it was my son's first ruler, and I put it to use. My whole thing is, so why bother doing anything else? Okay, we'll cut this off. Now, this is how we're going to do matchsticks. Think of a matchstick, and that's what you're doing. Be careful you don't cut your fingers. Just think of a matchstick. Okay, I'll do one more. There you are, matchsticks. That's how you do them. And throw them into the greens. So do not use a regular cucumber. Make sure you sit there and use an English cucumber on this, or it's not going to quite come out right. So when you read the term matchstick, now you know what to do. Isn't that nifty? Like they say, butterfly and then spatchcock. One removes the breastplate and the backbone, and the other one just removes the backbone. Isn't that interesting? I know some of you don't like to hear me talk about nutrition, but I know the questions come, why is this happening to my family, or why this, or why that? That's why women have trouble breastfeeding. You can't produce milk without the B vitamins. The more B vitamins you have, the more breast milk you'll have. Believe you me, I had a ton of it. And breast milk, if you're healthy, has all the nutrients, and formulas are not as healthy as breast milk at all. They're mostly made with corn syrup and sugar, and that's why your babies are fat. Then you're setting them up to be a diabetic later in life, or a blimp. Like I told you, my doctor, well, the children's doctor, pediatrician, said, didn't think we were feeding our sons. He said, every baby I see is fat. So fat is considered normal. It's not normal. It's very unhealthy. You're setting your family up for illness as they get older. When they get there, ask them, is that what they really wanted? Some women say, I can't breastfeed. Well, you don't have enough B vitamins, or you're not healthy. And that's why you can't breastfeed. You can't produce the milk, or the openings to let the milk out is so tight it hurts to breastfeed. I was a gusher. I wanted to make sure that I could breastfeed and do what I had to do. Like they sat there and said, oh, tonsils and adenoids, they're not important. Not important? They're very important. My mother got mine because she got a deal. The doctor said I'll do all three for this because my brothers had really bad sinus problems. And they lost me on the table. Me and anesthesia don't get along very well. And when I had my tonsils out, believe you me, General Hospital did not have air conditioning. The OR had the window open. So you can see we came a long way. I have to say my time when I grew up was interesting. I got the old way, I got some new way, but I was more raised in the old way, which gives me the security and stuff that I needed. Like I talk about, I got whipped every Saturday. My mother was heavy-handed with the belt. Like I tell you, I know she'd hit a police officer if he stopped her. I'm sorry. I knew her temper. But I also had a father that went hunting. We had a hunting camp. And I ended up with a pet deer named Ding-a-ling. I love Ding-a-ling. That's where I learned about deer. And if you ever get close to one as a pet, they have some of the most beautiful eyes. And they look at you. They don't look at you to hurt you or anything. They just look at you with love. They have love and kindness in their eyes. Ting-a-ling was a male, and he was trying to teach me to jump. I was too little. I crawled through the fence. When I first met him, he and I both crawled through the fence, underneath the fence, the barbed wire. When he got older, he leaped over. He tried to get me to leap. I wasn't leaping anywhere. I was going to continue crawling because I had not grown up yet. I was still a little girl. So I know about all those things. So I'm glad that I grew up in the time that I grew up in. It was very, very nice. Good morning. We're going to be putting some hot peppers in here, so this is going to be a bit on the spicy side. Be aware of that. There's not a lot that goes into this dish. It's just interesting how it's prepared. Now let me see how many of these peppers they want. You have the seeds and stuff off these things? Do you want me to take the seeds out of the things? You're not telling me. I don't know what you want me to do. Okay, he's not telling me what to do. What I can see from the picture. Okay, you want whole cherry peppers, hot. And that's what they want. I'm going to assume they want the seeds out of this. Okay, we're going to make the assumption here. They don't tell me what to do. I'm going to assume we need 1/4 of these. We want them sliced. So that might be just a few, but we'll find out. I would recommend thinly slicing these because these are hot and this is the salad that we're going to be doing. Okay. Now they say to thin slice this, so that's what we're going to do. I would strongly recommend that you serve toast or crackers or something with this. And they want 1/4 of a cup. That's why I did just 2. I'll see what 1/4 of a cup takes this. Skins are a little tougher, so they're not going to cut as easy as you think. Okay, 2 of them actually did 1/4 of a cup. Okay. Let me see what else we put in this. No, Taffy, I can't give you time now. I'm cooking. Okay? Okay, you're going to need some fresh mint for this, but we're going to put it on the side. Do clean your cutting board. I don't think you want hot pepper on your mint. I have to wipe some of this stuff off because of the heat. Now they want 1/4 of a cup of mint, so we'll be taking care of this. I should just grow mint, it'd be easier for me. I had 3 of them, but they got mowed down. My sons said, tell me, do you have to keep on reminding me? Yeah, I have to keep on reminding you. You did mow them down, you know. So I didn't see him. I said, well, you should have looked. You know? One thing I hate is that the mint will start to go bad so quickly, but if it's out in the yard, you can just pick it fresh, you know? That was the whole thing of growing mint. Okay. Don't worry, I'm going to pick through all this and I'll probably end up throwing the rest out. I can't use that one. There's this one and this one. This one, that's all you use off that one. Okay. There's this one. There's this one. There's this one. This one. This one. This one. Oh God. Some start to rot at the top, some rot at the bottom. So you just do what you can. See, if you use drawing, you're not going to get what you're looking for. Okay, what do you want me to do with this now that I've done that? They want you to tear them up. I already did that. Let me get them. Use some water and rinse them. I think that's about 1/4 of a cup. I might have to throw this out because it's going bad before I even get to it. All right, put those to the side. And let me get the stuff for the dressing, which is an unusual dressing, and we'll be right back. Okay, before we can sit there and make the dressing for this, we have to make seasoned rice vinegar. You need 1/2 cup of rice vinegar. If you can get it open. You want to go all the way down, go all the way down. How much did I stick in say rice? 1/2 cup. Dang. Can you imagine most people at my age trying to open these things? Before we just had to unscrew the cap. All right, you got 1/2 cup of rice vinegar. You need 1/4 of a cup of sugar. Yeah, this is a different kind. You have to prepare this rice to get to the dressing. Put it in a jar and keep it in the refrigerator or on the, probably in the counter would be better. I mean, the cabinet. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator. And 1 tablespoon of salt. And they recommend table salt for this. So once you make this, mark it in a jar that it's seasoned rice vinegar. So when you need it, because there are recipes in this cookbook when I use it and other books that you'll run across this recipe. Now I've added it all into a measuring cup. We just have to mix this up. Do I have my spoon over here for it? They want you to stir this, whisk this until the sugar is dissolved. The canning jar in this house? Did I take them all out already? I'll put it in the canning jar. So I always have it. But don't forget to mark it or you won't remember what it is. Is this video going? Yeah, it's going on 40 minutes. Well, the sugar is not dissolved yet. I'm still working on that. Close to it. This is what we do. That's why I say cooks of today are so lazy. Even the chefs are taking shortcuts. I was shocked when I heard that. My mouth dropped. You do what? Yeah, we buy the same stuff. And I said, well, you don't buy the same stuff I buy. Okay, in this we're going to put 3 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter. You're saying, what? I said, yeah, we are. We're going there. And 1.5 tablespoons of fish sauce. I got Thai Kitchen, they call it premium fish sauce. It's an all-purpose one. At least that's what they told me. See? I knew you were going to do this to me. It's not what I wanted. I did not want it like this. If I could get that off, I would, but I don't know how to get that off. Now, for those of you that are not good in your math, it's 1.5 teaspoons plus that tablespoon, which will give you 1.5 tablespoons. That's half. So you have a tablespoon and a tablespoon of half of that. How much of this do you want? 1/4 of a cup of this. Oh, what the heck. I'm going to do it this way today. You're probably going to say, you broke every rule. Yes, I did. Now, we have to mix this up. Now see, if you buy natural peanut butter without the cornstarch, or I think it's corn syrup they put in it. Let's see. Let's see. You don't have to add sugar or oils. They come naturally. Just grind your peanuts up. You'll see the oil floating on top. else do you want to use? And 1/4 of a cup of oil, because there's peanuts in this. They do not want olive oil, so I said, well, since you've got peanuts in it, I'll go ahead and use peanut oil. But whatever oil you use, they do not recommend. Do not use olive oil. Keep on beating it till it's smooth. See how nice it comes out? That's unusual. Okay. Now I'm going to use my son's packed lunch for this. I think the other one's going to be home today, so I don't have to pack him a lunch. He didn't tell me he was going out, but the other one did. Okay? So, but this is how you'll dress it on a plate as well. Okay? So let me get his equipment and I'll be right back. Okay. Now they want you, when you go to serve this, to add 3 tablespoons of the dressing into this and toss it. I can't do that right now. I have to do mine a little different. I'll tell my sons how to do it. Alright, so you're going to take this lettuce that you've made, this lettuce with all these things that you've added into it. And you lay down a bed. Just like this. This is after you toss it with the oil. And you lay the chicken like that. And what you do is you pour this over it, and that's it. Okay? I can't do that, so I'm going to put his in a container to do. Hold on, I gotta get a container. I've got some more small ones. I don't have enough small ones for this. I should throw that out and put it in that one. Hold on, I have to do something. Okay, I'm gonna put it in here. We need small containers. Now he will have enough to toss and pour all over, and I'll put this in here. Does it fit in here? No. And this is how you serve this dish. You actually pour this over it, over the chicken, and that's it. Now, this will go excellent with crackers. This will go excellent with toast. I'm going to serve it with toast because I do have some bread that came out of the freezer, so I'll go ahead and use mine like that. But this is a very nice meal, a very simple meal for a hot day. It can be packed and sent off. Do not put any dressing on the lettuce. Let them do that if it's a packed lunch, because this goes over the chicken and the lettuce. And if you put it on the lettuce will wilt because of the vinegar and stuff. This is why we dried the greens out, so the dressing will stick to it. And that's a simple packed lunch. So if you want crackers, or you want rolls, or if you want toast with it, you can get away with just about anything in that category, and you really didn't have to cook except that little bit you had to do to poach the chicken breast. And that's it. All done. So take care. Bye-bye.